successful personality, someone who's been in the industry for maybe over 20 years. The person of Oguchi Aguda. He is the Chief Executive Officer for PENUP. PENUP means Pension Fund Operators Association of Nigeria. And they've done a lot of things with respect to the, you know, remodeling, enhancements, and a lot of changes in the pension remittances space. And he's been actively pushing a change in how pension fund is managed in Nigeria. So the operations generally has changed in the last 1 month, actually, because they went live in June 1, 2025. And I can tell you for a fact that you are actually in the right webinar to, hear from a very experienced person in Oguchi. He has actually handled a couple of other projects, and this is the latest one he's doing now. He used to be the regional director for our crowd, a crowdfunding platform. And as I speak today, he is currently managing over 15 billion in assets with USD. He has been able to gather that from various collections when it comes to pensions. So the automations he's done, everything he's done with respect to pensions, he will be letting us know. And for those of you who are employers of labor, for those of you who are HR experts and probably PFAs and PFCs, he would also throw some lights when it comes to what you need to know. And as I speak with you, he would be telling us the huge impact that PENUP has today in the industry. And I will not also forget to mention the fact that cyberpay has also been one of the, providers when it comes to pension remittances. So at the end of the day, we'll let you know how we've been able to actually, assist the PENUP in making pension remittances very seamless, very easy, and very smooth. So I hand over the webinar to Mr. Oguchi Aguda to tell us what he has. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elvis. Thank you for that intro. Thank you for the intro, and I'm very happy to share with participants here, specifically for the new pension contribution system. Um, well, maybe a PCS, pension contribution system, and you're very correct. It started in June 1, and I'll talk about why we came this journey. So you guys, if you have a pensions account and if you had started working before 2004, then you were part of the people that were pioneer contributors in pensions since 2006, right? So we've had about 20 years of the pension system, and the pension system has grown a lot. And what Elvis had mentioned, $15 billion. I'm not the one that manages it. It's all of the pension industry. So I just sort of oversee the association. Um, but the pension contributors have done a great job, and also the PFAs and the PFCs have done a great job in just managing those contributions, managing the payouts, investing the funds, and the administration of pension generally. And PENCOM, the regulator, has also done a great job. But as you know, every system evolves, every system grows. We can always get better. And technology, something that has been foisted upon us, is also part of that growth. How does pension and technology, how they come together? I'm very happy that pension industries are embracing technology in a number of the things we do. So if you're on this webinar and you work in any organization. So what happens every month is that your HR and finance, they work together. So HR will advise finance, hey, this is let me see who's on the call. Those who are earning big money. Uh, okay, let me look at Ebele Nengi. So HR will advise finance, like, oh, this month we are paying Ebele Nengi 5 million. This is how much is paid on a monthly basis, 5 million. Out of that 5 million, this is how much his pension is. Maybe his pension is 150,000 or 200,000. So what happens is that your HR and finance are engaged together. So your finance will send 5 million to your own account as your salary, and they will send 200,000 to your pension fund custodian because it's the custodian that keeps the money. They will send 200,000. Your custodian has your pension for this month, let's say the month of July. And they will now send a schedule to the custodian to say, oh, Ekpele's, this 200,000 is for Ekpele. This is his PIN and this is PFA. They will mention his PFA. So they are meant to send that. But imagine a company that has 2,000 staff and those 2,000 staff, they have those 19 PFAs, different amounts. So that company has to prepare the payroll. They will also prepare the schedule for 2,000 staff. They'll say, okay, this staff is 200,000. This staff, 400,000 pension. This one, 150. This one, 10,000. This is the PFC. This is the PFA. And you know that, yes, even with Excel and technology and how you do your payroll, there could be a challenge sometimes. So what has happened over the years is that this issue was not straight through. It wasn't straight through. But with the new pension solution that we are putting in place, um, it will change that. So this slide speaks to what I spoke about. So what we see today is, okay, people will send money to the PFC, or this PFC from, um, let's say, from Oguchi Aguda and Company, we have 20 employees, and the pension we are sending to you is totally for the whole organization is 3 million. So they send 3 million as pension, and the PFC is wondering, okay, how is that 3 million? How much is for the MD? How much is for the ED? How much is, they don't know. So that's the first point. Many companies are sending schedules, remittance without schedules. So the PFC sees the money. They don't know who is going to apply to. Or sometimes they will send the money, they'll send the schedule, but maybe it's a wrong PIN because everybody has a unique PIN. If you're an RSA holder, you contribute to pension, you have a unique PIN. So unique PIN. Uh, they mix up your PIN and we can't validate the PIN. So because we can't validate, we're not able to because we can't validate, we're not able to sorry, give me 1 second. I need to I can charge my battery. Give me 1 second.
All right, while he's doing that, please just a minute. We will be back. So today, let me talk about CyberPay. We've been able to do a lot of partnerships with different stakeholders in the pensions industry. You're back?
I'm back. Back.
Okay.
Okay. So the other thing was standardization. So if we have 20,000 employers, different employers are sending different schedules, different ways to standardization. And even the employers, they are not aware of these issues, right? And then furthermore, there are challenges with the schedule. Sometimes they'll send the schedule, human error is always there. So the schedule might not make, so, those are the challenges. But if we go to, um, in terms of what we hope to achieve, so because of that, like I said, there are bottlenecks. People cannot match the contributions. And then once you send the pension on day one, right? And we're not able to match that. Oh, this money is meant for Elvis. The loss of value for RSA holders because that money should be earning interest immediately it gets to the PFA. But because they're not able to match this money is meant for this person, the RSA holder loses value. And because of that, the regulator is saying, oh, I want to know, have you people forwarded it today? So increased regulatory scrutiny, and many employees are not able to enjoy the benefits of that. Um, their pensions being paid on time. So that's the disadvantage of the situation. But what's the new solution we are doing, which CyberPay is working with us on? CyberPay is one of the licensed platforms that are working with us to change the current situation. So, like I told you, I'll talk about the current situation. What's going to happen is that we're engaging PSSPs, and like I said, CyberPay is one of them. Um, and there's going to be standardized templates. So, if you're an employer, those PSSPs will come to you and give you something standard. The industry has worked with all of them to get standardized templates. So if you're sending your salary, sending your pensions, is the same across board. And there's going to be validation checks. So if it comes to our system, they will check that this person you are sending, this is the PIN and this is the right person. And it merely matches, he goes straight through. And we're going to be working on increased awareness. You might have seen in the papers, online, we're going to do that a bit more. So the regulators, the operators, we have a standardized framework for this. So it's going to be straight through now. If it doesn't match, it won't go through. Before, oh, it will just go through and then we'll be looking for who has the money. But now if it doesn't match, it won't go through. And the employer will know, will be notified, and it has to resend it back. So what's happening is that, because of this, RSA holders can get timely credit. They begin to enjoy. There's accuracy, there's efficiency, administrative burden. PFAs should not be spending time calling the employer. Oh, we saw money from you. Who is it meant for? Well, the regulator will be saying, oh, I want to know how many people have not been credited today. It's just the whole burden that should not happen. So technology is going to help us. And like I said, CyberPay is one of them. And of course, standardized collection schedule and transparency. And if this is working well, economic development, because people know that their pensions are paid, they are more confident, and money is getting to where it's meant to get to, and it's getting income. And so if you're an RSA holder, you are here today, and you're just saying, okay, so what should you know? I want you to know that you have the right to choose your PFA. Your employer shouldn't say you must use this person. It's your right to choose your PFA. And you have a right to timely contribution. So the law says that if salary is paid today, between 7 days, 7 working days, you should have gotten your pension. So that's your right. And you have a right to retirement benefits. That when you retire, especially when you reach age of 50 in the private sector, you can retire and you can begin to get your benefits through program withdrawals or annuity. And you have a right to earn penalties on late remittance. If remittance is late, you have a right to earn penalties. And you have your right to use your RSA balance for specific purposes. So did you know that you can actually use your RSA balance for residential mortgage? 25% of that you can use for residential mortgage. And also, I want to let you know that this is your right to understand your retirement options. I mean, I speak to retirees or people about to retire here and there, and I tell them, don't put your retirement in someone else's hand. It is your own hand. With this contributory pension scheme, you can determine your retirement. You can change the PFA. You can leave your employer, go to another employer. Your pension still continues. In the olden days, they say you must work for 10 years, 15 years before your pension kicks in. This is not like that. So you have the right to choose your retirement. You can also do voluntary contributions. So that's what we are preaching, even with this new system. But I'm happy that we're partnering with CyberPay on this. And they're one of the licensed pension service providers that are working with us to ensure that it's a straight through process. And with technology, we're able to ensure that each RSA holder gets their pension remittance immediately on day zero. So some things for employers to know. If you're an employer, you are here, mandatory contribution. It's the law. You must contribute a minimum of 10% from you, the employer, and 8% for the employee. Also, timely remittance, like we said, there is a penalty, 2% for each month that you have not paid. And also, you should ensure that you have life insurance cover, and you should actually support your employees for retirement planning. It's not when the employee is meant to retire, you start looking, okay, what are my options? Even before they retire, 5, 10 years, you should take them through a journey, let them understand, and then pension clearance certificate is now automated. Just go online, put the documents, and within 24, 48 hours max, you get your clearance certificate. So this is what I want the house to know, but I'm open to engage more and just share some more insights. Thank you, Elvis.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. It's been a very brief one, and I'm sure very insightful. So for people who are on the call, I'm sure they may have one or two questions to ask. Someone reached out to me to say, for employers that are not remitting their pension contributions, what happens? I don't know if you could help with that answer.
Yes, I get that call all the time, and I'm saying you can whistle blow. That is, you can if you go to our website, you'll see email addresses, numbers to Pencom where you can lodge a complaint. You go to our website, you'll see a page there where you can lodge a complaint, numbers you can call, login complaints, yes, email addresses, um, and you can even engage the regulator through their social media sites. So if your employer is not paying, you can anonymously send a message to them and they'll take it up. I hope that helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. Another question that I can see is the length of time it takes to get the funds, the 25% you mentioned for mortgage purposes.
Yes.
How long does it take? Because I hear that some people would wait for like 6 months before it gets out of the PFA.
What I can say is I think more than 100 million has been disbursed under that RSA
Wow,
mortgage
wow,
program.
that's huge.
More than 100 billion has been disbursed, and more than I think 40,000 Nigerians or so have gotten their homes. I can't remember the number now, 30,000 or 40,000 Nigerians have gotten their homes through that. So people are accessing it. In terms of timing, I think it will differ from mortgage house or primary mortgage institution to others because there are some documentation that are outside of the PFA. You need to. So first thing is to engage your mortgage institution or your commercial bank or whoever your primary mortgage institution. Agree on the house, agree on the terms, finish all that, and then approach your PFA. By the time you approach your PFA and PENCOM, there's a specified number of time it will take. But where the issue always happens is in terms of documentation, legal issues. So sort that out with your primary mortgage institution first, with the house you want to get, and then within the PFA and PENCOM, the specified number of time the guideline says, and within that time, it's typically quick.
All right. So the floor is open for questions or feedback to us. So another one read out now to say for delayed credits, how can, because they said some people still, some PFAs still delay the credits to their RSA accounts.
What do you mean? Is it in terms of their monthly contributions?
Yes.
Okay. So what should happen, right, is from your employer, the money doesn't go to the PFA directly. It goes to the PFC, right? It goes to the PFC, and the PFC is the one that will now credit the PFA and tell them that, oh, this money is for, let me say, Elvis. We have received 150,000 this month for Elvis. So it's from the employer. So that process should be straight through from your employer to the PFC. The PFC holds the money. And what happens that when the PFA is notified, then they send you a message. Ideally, every month you should get a text message when your pension has been paid. You get a text message, an SMS. If that hasn't happened, then engage your PFA and tell them maybe you change your number or your email address and tell them you don't get it. So you need to know every month. Check you get your alerts to say, oh, the company has paid X amount. This is how much your employer has paid. This is how much you have paid. And every quarter you're meant to get a statement. Um, yes.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. and the questions you've answered so far. Another one just dropped. Say, can one get the 25% as out of job payments after 6 months from the PFA and then get 25% for mortgage purposes down the line?
Yes. So yes, you can get both of them. Um, yes, you can get both of them. So after when you lose your job, you can get 25%. Um, but later on, you might say, "Oh, I want to get the mortgage," but there are some things that you must fulfill. You must have had at least 60 months of pension contributions before you can access the mortgage. So you must have had 60 months of pension contribution. That's one. And two, when you get the 25%, that means you've got it 50%. So that means that your money when you fully retire is going to be lesser. So you have to sign a document to say, oh, you agree to this, right? Because what happens that you are collecting 25% loss of job, you collect 25% mortgage, and at the end, you start saying, oh, your money is not much. You didn't, but you've collected it. So you need to know the implications of what you're doing and agree to it. But yes, you can collect both of them with some provisions.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Aguda.
I
Okay,
see Marvelous hand is up.
yeah, Marvelous, you have the floor.
Okay, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning,
Am I
Marvelous.
audible?
Yeah, you are. Go
Yes.
ahead, please.
Okay, so I would like to ask, there is a bit diversion from here, but still on pension remittance. So if for instance I happen to or one happen to leave his job and maybe start up like a small business, a personal small business, is it possible to continue doing like a voluntary remittance of a pension? Because I know to date it's the organization that actually remits this pension or make payment to this pension remittance. So is it possible as an individual I can continue doing my remittance, or I might have to come up with maybe go into a new scheme like a micro pension scheme or something?
Great, great. Okay, Marvelous. I hope you're not planning to leave your job, but that's a good question. Don't mind me. I'm just joking. But
That's
you're
all.
very correct. Marvelous, you're very correct. And this question has come up a number of times. So we need to be dynamic. Um, the world is changing. And the pension industry is also trying to change with that. When the pension system started initially, it was framed as an employer scheme, right? So most of the systems were framed towards your employer contributes on your behalf. It was later that when I realized, oh, there's some people in the informal sector who can contribute individually on their own without their employer. So now we have the mandatory contribution pension scheme, which is your employer, and we have the micro pension, which is now personal pension plan, where the individual can contribute himself. So there are sort of two various tracks. If you are working, you have a PIN, a unique PIN, like I said, which your employer used to make your contributions. But when you leave, the system still recognizes that it's your employer that makes contribution for you. So when you leave, what you can still do now is send the money to your past employer to make it for you. But that doesn't seem practical. So there's something being worked on right now, and it should come out, I think, before the end of this quarter, that will ensure that when you leave, you can voluntarily make contributions yourself. That is not possible today, but it will, I think, this quarter. Well, that's a very good question, Marvelous. Yeah. I hope
Okay,
that helps.
I believe so. Marvelous. I hope that helps.
Yes, that helps.
So there's
Thank you.
another someone is okay. I can see it's Justin. Someone's hands is up. Justin, you have a question, comments? Is Justin still there?
Maybe the host has to unmute Justin or so. I don't know if he can unmute himself.
Okay. Okay, while we are waiting for Justin to ask his question, time is fast spent because it's a 1 hour program. So someone asked, anonymous attendee said, for the micro pension, how long does it take if you want to withdraw your contribution?
Yes. Thank you for that. So it shouldn't take long if you want to withdraw. So as of today, there are two portions. There's a contingent portion, and there's the mandatory or the portion that stays to the end of life. So that contingent portion is 40%. That 40% you can withdraw it anytime, right? So if you contribute 100,000 to your micro pension account, 40,000 of that, you can withdraw it anytime. But I think you have to have left it for 3 months. So by the time you contribute, it's not as if you go tomorrow, at least for 3 months. And then after that, you can withdraw it anytime. So it shouldn't take long. Once you've stayed that period, I think it's 3 or 6 months, I need to be sure. Then what happens is that anytime you can withdraw, and I think within 2 days, you should be able to withdraw it. It's not an issue, typically. So please get on the micro pension or the personal pension plan. It's now called personal pension plan. So get on that plan. Justin's hand is up again.
Okay,
Justin?
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Justin, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I had to get myself, or the host had to unmute me. So my question is, in terms of retirement, because I'm meant to understand that this pension helps at the retirement destiny. Is it that there is a fixed retirement age, or maybe if I decide to retire today, so how soon can I have access to my pension, or must it be, maybe towards that kind 60 something years or 60 years, or can somebody just decide to retire today, like confirm that he or she has retired, and then the pension starts coming?
Right. So this is the contributory pension scheme. So what happens is that when you are working, you should have been contributing, right? You are contributing, your employer is contributing. And those contributions are going to the pension fund who is investing them. So the money is growing. But based on the act, right? Um, if you're a civil servant, it says 35 years of service or 60 years old, whichever comes first. Civil service as retirement age in civil service. For private sector, companies can have their own retirement arrangement, but the act says 50 years old. So if you're working in the private sector and you're 50, you can resign and say, okay, you have retired. You can retire from 50. And then once that happens, you meet your PFA, get documentation, and then yeah, they can start paying your pensions. That's the private sector. But the public sector is either 35 years of service or 60 years old. I hope that helps to answer your question, Justin.
Yes, yes. Thank
All
you.
right, great. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Justin, and thank you, Oguche, for that explanation. Someone asked another question similar to what someone already has asked. That I think this is a very common and recurring problems where employers would, deduct
Delay
pensions from employees and not
or
remit
remit.
the exactly. So someone else is asking the same question, but why I'm bringing it up is because of the twist that the person put in there to say, how will PENOP ensure enforce compliance?
Okay. So PENOP is an advocacy body. We're not a regulator, but the regulator has a compliance department, compliance and enforcement. So there's a compliance and enforcement department. And over the last 4 years, they have recovered about 25 billion from employers. So what they do is they have recovery agents who they send out when they get these tips. So the first thing is that you need to, because they won't know. You need to send them a message, let them know that this employer is not paying. So they send recovery agents. Those recovery agents engage them and verify. They need to verify. And then they start the process of, okay, we've seen that you haven't paid this. Come and pay. If they don't pay, they'll take them to court. There are a number of companies that are in court today. But through the model, like I said, over the last 5 years, Pencom has recovered about 25 billion. So there's a lot of work on compliance and enforcement. And if they need to go to court, they'll go to court. Not only do they recover the pension, they also recover the interest that meant to pay. And that interest goes to you. Interest goes to you. So that is what Pencom does. And they've been doing a great job over the last number of years. So that's something you should know. So if you go to their website, you go to our website, you can see how you can report anonymously, and then they'll start the process of investigation first before enforcement.
All right, thank you so
I hope
much.
All right.
So for that person, just note that PENOP is not the compliance or regulatory body that would enforce compliance. So PENCOM will take that up. So you can whistleblow to PENCOM and they'll take it up. And the good thing about this whole space, the pensions industry, is that a lot of changes have happened, which we all know. In the past, sometimes you don't get your credit till maybe like months after, even if your employer has actually remitted to the body that is responsible for pushing it, which is the PFC. They may have remitted to the PFC, but the PFA will not get it. But now, because of the enforcement that PENCOM has been doing, a lot of changes have happened, and speedily we get this SMS or the notifications on our phones. And I also see where a lot of cases where the PFAs actually give you platforms, mobile platforms, USSD, even internet, which is a URL where you can log in and check your balances and even do some other things like print your statements and all that. So a lot of changes have happened, and we want to applaud the PENCOM because they've also been very, very up and doing. We also want to applaud the PENOP because this is just the vehicle that has actually pushed a lot of these changes today. And I give you the credit, sir, because I know how it is before PENOP came. And even with PENOP, there are still people complaining about their companies not remitting their. And the good thing is you've made it clear that they can actually whistleblow so that the people can get their pensions. And yeah, you would agree with me today to say, I want to say that a lot of people have actually passed on and their monies are gone. And the question I want to also ask is for those who actually have passed on and their employers never remitted, what's the hope for them?
So is their beneficiary. So if you pass on under the Pension Act, your beneficiary is entitled to your RSA balance, or they're entitled to that. But the challenge is that we need to know who the beneficiary is. We've seen cases whereby somebody unfortunately passes on and different people are fighting, for the beneficiary and all of that. I mean, so what we advise is everybody should have a will. And update your records with your PFA. So update your records with your PFA. Who is the named beneficiary? So let that be clear, so that if anything happens, the money is going to your named beneficiary. That's very important. And of course, there's a court process. If there's no will, that and that can sometimes take time. So with the PFA angle, I mean, I would like to say that there are not much delays from there, but with that, it's typically through the legal process that needs to happen. But if somebody has not, his company was not remitting, so it now behoves on the beneficiary of the estate to now determine who is that company, to whistleblow, to go after that company, and to make sure that once he's remitted, it will go to the RSA of that individual. And once it's in the RSA, then you can start the process of collecting the death benefits. But yes, that's the process it will follow.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. I would love to, let the attendees know a bit of CyberPay, and I have a slide to share, but trust me, it won't last 5 minutes because I know time is fast spent, really. Alrighty, just a minute. Let me share my slides. Please confirm you can see my slide.
Go to the next page. All I can see is CyberPay,
Yeah,
CyberPay,
I wanted it to actually sink in so that people would. So when you see
All right.
the logo somewhere, probably on the merchant's payment gateway, anywhere
Okay.
else, it resonates. All right. So these are just a few things I want to talk about. Just three things. Why CyberPay, our products and services, then use cases. So if there are questions, I'll take them before we conclude. So really, I would go straight to our vision to be the partner of choice in the financial technology industry. And that is one of the reasons why we have PenUp today as one of our greatest partners, right? And we have a couple of other partners that we're working with to ensure that we develop solutions to help the market frictions in the not just financial technology sector, but in the country at large. So also we have very simple APIs for integration. So our integrations are always very seamless, very easy and straightforward. And we're licensed by the CBN as a PSSP and a PTSP. We also do VAS services, piggybacking the license of a parent company. So I can tell you for free that we understand when people are scared of putting their card details or some of their details on the internet today. We are PCI DSS certified, which means that when it comes to security of the data, it is very secure. And we also have ISO for BCMS and ISMS, which means Business Continuity Management System, as well as information security management system. So all this put together, and we also have aligned with the data protection regulation in Nigeria. So rest assured that your data and is secure with us, and we have the platform to actually take you to the next step. And part of what our vision is today is to ensure that we partner with people who provide services so we can be the ones, giving you the platform to, deliver services to your customer. And I would not out of pride, but I can say today that a lot of partnerships we've signed today are people or companies that have suffered in the hands of other fintechs. And a couple of them have come to us and they've seen some succor. So the mission is actually to facilitate transactions globally. So we are getting there. Gradually, we are moving from just Nigeria would, spread into West Africa and the world beyond. So why CyberPay? Like I mentioned earlier, we have very simple API-based integration. So with just a few clicks and so long even cases where your developers do not even have the wherewithal, we have been able to ensure that we go to some banks today to help them resolve issues that they couldn't resolve. And we have very, secure query system whereby at every point in time, we can get the finality of every transaction so that we'll reduce the issues of disputes in the ecosystem. Then we have very prompt settlement cycle. We have both instance, same day, and T+1, which is the standard. Then we have multiple channels for one integration. So today you are an airline, you are a school, you are a microfinance bank, whatever you are today, we can give you different payment models from cards to bank accounts to pay with transfer, which is the virtual account service. We have USSD, we have QR, we have pay with phone number. So we also have multiple processing and switching channels. So what this means is that at every point in time, when there's a failure in one platform, it defaults quickly to the next. So there's no issue of, oh, you guys are down for forever. And like I mentioned some few minutes ago, that we are ISO certified. So for business continuity, we have been able to get this in place. Then why CyberPay still? I would say, oh, for the transaction success rates that we have today in the industry, you need to actually partner with us. And we have a very simple reporting dashboard that would help you to see your numbers. Some of them are graphical, some of them are pie charts. You can see the transactions as they are coming through. You can, check a lot of things, play with the dashboard. All right. So these are some of our products and services today. We have a mobile app that you can download on the Play Store and iOS. We have a web payment. We have a gateway that you can use for Visa, MasterCard, and VEV. We also have Pay with Phone, which is Pay Attitude. We help companies build mobile solutions. We help them build USSD solutions. We help them build mobile solutions. So today, if you have need to collect, we can actually put menus on the USSD code for you. We are coming up with the micro insurance that has been built already, is in the works. We have for micro insurance where you want to pay small insurance today to various insurance companies. We have aggregated them together. So that is in the works. We also in the works is also the marketplace. Then we have the social media pages, which some people call link pay. So we can create a link for people who have small businesses, they don't have websites. You can actually use our platform for payments. So we give you a link, and that link has your name, has the name of the company, or your name, because you may not be registered. And with one click, the person can actually use pay with transfer, can use card, can use any other payment model that has been activated for you. Like I mentioned earlier, we have USSD solutions. We can build menus for you so that you can use USSD for collections. We have the MicroPen platform. We are one of the first in the industry today to start pension collections in Nigeria. And that is the reason why PenUp actually partnered with us. They saw the value in what we are doing. Also, for different companies who do pay, even salary payments falls under disbursement and payout solution. If you are a big company, you have staff, maybe 1,000 staff, you can use one-to-one or one-to-many and pay staff salaries. So we also have a loan repayment solution, and this we have given to a couple of microfinance banks. We have given to loan companies. They use our solutions today to actually, get the loans that have been disbursed back into their accounts. So like I mentioned earlier, I want to talk about the use cases. So there are majorly 4 use cases that we want to speak about. We have the collections, we have the disbursement, we have the VAS, and we have the POS business. So in less than 2 minutes, I will go through this. But so if you have other questions, you can reach out to us via email. It's team@cyberpay.net.ng, or you say hello@cyberpay.net.ng. We'll get your mail. Then for the pensions contributions, if you have need to actually want to partner with us when it comes to pensions, you can reach us via our email. I'll put it up shortly, penremit@cyberpay.ng. So for the use cases today, for collections, you are either an airline, you want to collect monies from anyone, either a church, because churches collect different things from their members, ranging from tithes, ranging to anything. Even if you have a building project, right, you can actually use us for collections. For schools too, you want to collect school fees from students. We also build EduPortal today. We have very robust EduPortal solution we even have LMS, which is a learning management solution for schools that want to do online schooling. You can actually use our solution for that. So we have a good payment gateway that can help you collect these fees or funds from your customers, from your members, even the likes of, I would not like to mention names because of NDPR regulations. We have a couple of merchants, even for professional bodies. You want to collect monies from your members, be it an accounting society, it could be engineering, it could be anything. You want to collect your monthly recurring fees from your members, we can use our platform for that. We can integrate to your website. We can also give you the pay with link that you can use to collect funds from them. Then recurring payments too, we can automate this from your, we'll give you a dashboard even if you don't have. For people who are well advanced, we give them APIs to talk to us and get the recurring payments done. So for that collection services, there are different sectors and verticals that actually we facilitate these payments for. Then for disbursements, when you want to make payments to either you want to pay one person, a contractor, or you want to pay for any goods or services, you can actually use our disbursement solution for that. Then for bulk payments, you want to pay staff salaries, you want to pay like betting companies here today. The people have won, maybe like 500 people have won maybe like 3,000 or different amounts, ranges from any amount. It could be 1 million, it could be 10 million. You can use our disbursement APIs for that. We have a couple of betting companies on our books today who are using it. Then for airlines too, you can actually use that for refunds. Then VAS, like I mentioned, we also have VAS, SMS, airtime, and bills payments. We power a couple of commercial banks, and we are also there to actually power the big fintechs also who want to actually do SMS business. So for OTPs, you want to send OTPs to your customers for onboarding, you want to send anything at all via SMS, we can actually power that for you. Then for transaction, of course, for the banks, for the commercial banks and the microfinance banks that we do for today, there are majorly two kinds of SMSs that they send to their customers. Is either they're sending transactional SMS or they're sending promotional SMS. So for the transactional SMS, it speaks to when, for instance, salaries have been paid and usually one credit that comes during the month for salaries. Some banks actually do two times. And you see lots of disbursements. You see, I want to pay for light, I want to pay. So different things you want to pay for. So those transactions that I are doing at that point in time are transactional ones. You go to the ATM to withdraw, it's transactional. You want to pay in cash deposit, is transactional, right? We actually power those ones. Then for the promotional, for birthdays of the customers of the banks, you receive birthdays, you say, oh, Fidelity remembered my birthday. Because if some people will tell you that even if you forget my birthdays, the banks won't, right? They would always reach out to you to say happy birthday because you are dear to them and you bring in funds to the bank. So those are promotional SMSs. Or you want to notify your customers that you'll be closing early, which usually happens maybe half year, end of month. You want to let them know that there won't be, it's a bank holiday. Those are promotional SMSs, and we can also power that. Then for airtime and bills payments, you can actually reach out to us for those kind of integrations. Then we also have a license from the CBN to carry on as a PTSP for terminal sales, for support. We have different relationships and partnerships with different OEMs across the globe. We have some in mostly in China, anyways. That you want to buy terminals, POS terminals, you can reach out to us. We've been able to supply over 100,000 terminals in the last 1 year. So you can reach out to us to buy terminals from us. For repairs as well, you want to repair your terminals, you can reach out to CyberPay. Then for outsourcing, right? Some banks today outsource their management of the terminals to us. As a PTSP, we can help you do that, ensure that we visit your merchant as specified in our relationship. So these are major use cases that I've mentioned. So like for collections, e-commerce businesses, airlines, ride-hailing companies, betting companies, logistics delivery, churches, anyone, professional bodies, you can reach out to us to collect your fees for your charges. Then for disbursements, we have insurance companies who do regular payments to their customers. We have MFBs. You can pay disbursement of loans, disbursement of salaries, betting companies for people who have staked. You probably have gone to bet and you've won. You can actually, use our platform to pay one-to-one, one-to-many. You can be as many as 1,000 beneficiaries, 10,000 beneficiaries. At the click of a button, we can just debit your account and credit all the beneficiaries you've listed there. For scholarships, scholarship payments, bursary payments, you can use our solutions for that. Payroll as well, like I mentioned, you can use that. Then the POS businesses, we have relationship with commercial banks, we have MFPs with us, we have airlines who are desirous of using POSs, you can use us. Ride-hailing companies, you can use us for that. Then for VAS, commercial banks, these are the verticals we're looking at as well. The commercial banks, MFBs, e-commerce businesses, airline, ride-hailing companies. You want to send SMS to your customers. You want to notify them of anything. You want to notify them of the transactions that they're doing. CyberPay is the company to be with. So if you have questions, comments, I will take them now while we try to shut down for the day. Thank you so much for your time. I can take questions now. Okay, someone is asking that how do I reach out? Okay, hold on. I would pop the email address now. So can you see my slide? Hold on, let me reshare. Just a minute. Okay, this is it. I'm sure you can see my slide. So in conclusion, we talked about four major solutions. We have the collections, we have the disbursement, we have the VAS, and we have the POS business. So if you need to reach out to us, you can reach out via these emails listed below, team@cyberpay.net.ng or penremit@cyberpay.net.ng. And we also have our IG handle, CyberPay Nigeria. We also have on YouTube, we have on LinkedIn. It's CyberPay Nigeria, so you can reach out to us via those other channels. So in the absence of no questions, I think we can wrap up. I want to say I'll leave the slides on. I'll have to leave it on for people who want to copy our emails. In the absence of no questions, I want to say special thanks to our guest, Mr. Oguchi Aguda. Thank you so much for your time, sir. We really appreciate you, and I'm sure we've learned about pensions in Nigeria. And please just know that we are like Oliver Twist, who may come back again to ask you to come and talk to us and probably let the whole world know about pensions, because it's something